It's a great day to be a Rebel. We're excited about being able to host a regional here. 2 years ago was something pretty special in 2017, and now getting a chance to host in 2019. It's great seeing up all the seats going up, and this team is excited. We're looking forward to it. We weren't sure if we were gonna be able to be back here after the Tennessee series, but I know it's something special, especially to Kylan, to be able to come back here and play in front of our fans and be in our stadium. So we're looking forward to it.
Mike, I believe you said you watched a little of Chattanooga live on the way back from College Station.
I did.
What have you learned about them since Sunday night?
They've got some girls that can swing the bat a little bit. They play a lot of small ball, so they're going to bunt a little bit. That's what we would spend a little bit of time out there, not just because of Chattanooga, but Southeast Missouri too, just in case. They've got a couple of really good pitchers. So I mean, anytime you win your conference, you've got a good club, a good organization, and I think we're battle tested. They haven't played the type of schedule that we've played before. We had an opportunity to play them last year, so we do have some video of last year. They were here at our tournament, so we do have a little bit of video on them from last year, and we have some of the swings that we had last year, so maybe we can get some sequences of their pitching coach and what they're going to call, but that's kind of what we have to go on, and then we have a few other videos to watch from them playing some of the other teams across the country.
Mike, Coach Glasgow said that he didn't really expect to host a regional, but he felt like the seeding was unfair, in his words, to the one seed that hosted them. What's your take on seeding and Lafayette being here with your regional?
Boy, that's kind of a loaded question. I think as an 11 seed, getting Lafayette for a 50-win team with a potential host, I think a lot of it had to come down to regional team. It could have either been them coming here, La Tech. You're talking about who's the next closest regional 2 seed that could come in here unless they're flying somebody in. So yes, from that standpoint, I think we probably should have had somebody maybe a little bit different, maybe not a 50-win team. But again, I'm not sure how the regional committee selects where they go and what they do, but it is what it is. To be the best, you got to play the best. And Lafayette's one of the best teams. And so we're going to go out and hopefully win that first game. And if they win their first game, we'll have that matchup on Saturday.
Mike, just a blanket question, but injury-wise, health-wise, how are you guys right now?
We're pretty healthy. Again, when you've gone through a 50-plus game season, you go through the grind of the SEC and you're trying to practice and stay fresh. You have the nagging injuries. I mean, we've got the sore arms and the legs, and we're still in lifting program, and so we got a lot of those nagging things that we're trying to do, but for the most part, this team is pretty healthy across the board.
You've got some players on this roster that have experienced what you're about to experience again this weekend. One of them sitting right next to you there. What's the value in that?
You can't take away anything from experience of postseason. We've got, I think we have 3 players that were part of that. And so being able to have those individuals, I think between Kylan and Kaylee and Brittany Finney, those 3 were here in 17 and were able to experience that. So those 3 will be on the field at some point, somewhere, somehow. So it's just using them as their leadership to really let the others know what it's going to be like. And I know that was a conversation that they've already had with their teammates. We talked a little bit about it at practice the other day and just what we're about to experience. I had them turn around and say, look what's being built out there for you guys, and just picture the crowds. You've seen the pictures in my office, and it's a picture of the regional last in 17 and a picture of that. So they know what we're about to experience. We've played in front of some big crowds, so it's not something that they haven't experienced before.
Kylan, what do you think is the makeup, the emotional makeup, the mindset, I guess, of you and your teammates, having played so well all season, but then getting to this point, I think losing 5 out of 6?
Mm-hmm. I think we're hard on ourselves, so all of us are kind of not down, but we were disappointed with the way we finished, which is why we were, we're unsure if we'd host or not. And then kind of once I realized that we were 11 seed, I kind of reflected back on the entire season, and this is the best season we've ever had with Ole Miss softball. So I don't think that one bad weekend at Georgia and then the one loss at Kentucky defines our season or says that we're having a bad streak. I think it was just one weekend and that's it.
Coach alluded to the conversation you had with some of your younger teammates? What did you kind of say in that talk?
I was telling them since the middle of season that we needed to get some big wins because I wanted to host a regional, and people don't really understand how important it is for seeding wise, like all these wins and stuff. And I would just keep telling them that it's the best feeling ever. I'm so excited. Like, we need a host. I want to leave this field hosting, and everyone kind of doesn't really understand what I'm saying, but I'm just like, imagine the biggest crowd we've ever had times 3, and it's just so much fun. So I think they're all just excited.
Kylan, can you offer your perspective on the last 4 years? Because when you committed and signed to play softball at Ole Miss, there was no history, no tradition here whatsoever to speak of, and you're the only player in the program's history to will have played in 4 NCAA tournaments. I mean, what's been your view of what's transpired here over the last 4 years?
My view is just kind of every year we've taken the next step and we're never turning back. So the first year went to our first regional, and the next year it was like, that's expected. We're expected to make regionals. It's no longer a hope that you make it, and now it's like we're expecting to host, and I think that's something that we've just transformed the program into it becoming a normal thing, and it's not a shock anymore that we're in a regional. We're trying to host. We're trying to be a high seed.
Mike, similar question, 5 years in, you talked a lot about expectations in the first couple of years you got the job. Now that you really are kind of 5 years into it, did you expect it to happen this fast? Just kind of where are you at in your mind when you took it?
Well, in 17, I didn't expect that to happen as fast. So, yes, now where we're at, the expectations are there, but the expectations really started in 2016 because we did make a regional tournament. We were able to get those wins in the conference tournament. Of course, going to Oklahoma and playing in that regional final there was really good for this program because we got to experience something that they've never experienced before. So I think that was part of that process, that step that we've taken, like Kylan alluded to. But where we're at now, we finally have our recruiting cycle in here. Kylan's done a great job with being a leader, and Brittany, and it's been a huge thing for us. I mean, recruiting has taken on another level. We've got great recruiting classes coming in. The text messages, emails, Facebook message, Instagram messages. After we're announced as the 11 seed, we're just off the charts. I think before I had an opportunity to get back to my phone, I think I had like 42 text messages and like 25 or 30 Facebook messages. So, and a lot of them were from people that are in the softball world. So that you're making a difference, and people are excited about it. People want to come here. It's not just something that they're thinking about. It's something that they want. That's somewhere that they want to go now, and that's something that we've never had before.
Mike, now that you scouted the field, can you talk maybe at least in general terms about how your pitching matches up this weekend?
We're not really sure what we're going to do, quite honestly, yet. We're still finishing up watching some video. Of course, we're focusing right now on Chattanooga and what's going to give us the best opportunity. The nice thing about it, you win game 1, you don't have to play. You play in the morning at game 2, and hopefully you win that, and now you play the championship in game 3. So, we're going to take it one game at a time. We're either going to go with one of our two. It's either going to be Brittany or it's going to be Molly. And what's our best matchup? I don't really know that yet. We really haven't talked as a staff fully. And we'll probably make that decision probably at some point tomorrow.